next webinar of
Thank you
today.
very much, sir. Thank you very much. बहुत बहुत आभार आप सभी का. Today again we are meeting on Freedom of Information Day. It is being celebrated on March 16th, today's day, and I'm really thankful to our speakers, brilliant speakers, Dr. Suparna Sanyal Mukherjee ji and Dr. Sakat Kumar Basu ji. Really, Sakat ji, you have introduced a great speaker like Suparna ji, and you are really wonderful speaker. So on 1338, 1338th milestone of AYUSH Samriddhi welcomes you. Thank you very much for joining. I would like to request Professor Agnihotri Vishnu Prasad Sharma ji for his welcome address.
नमस्कार, गुड इवनिंग टू एवरीबॉडी. सुन रहे हैं ना पवन जी?
हाँ सर, हाँ सर.
हाँ, ओके. नमस्कार, हरिओम. Good evening to everybody, respected distinguished guests, eminent speaker, ladies and gentlemen. I, Professor Dr. Vishnu Prasad Sharma, welcome all of you to this AYUSH Samriddhi International Conference series on freedom of information. Most important subject. In this webinar, we have eminent speaker. I want to welcome Dr. Suparna Sanyal Mukherjee, Associate Professor and HOD, Department of Education, School of Humanities, SICOM, Skill University, Bolpur. Namaskar, madam, and welcome you to this AYUSH Samriddhi webinar. Next, I want to welcome Dr. Sakat Kumar Basu, Executive Research Director, Performance Sheet, Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Namaskar, sir, and welcome you to this AYUSH Samriddhi webinar. Once again, I welcome all the eminent and guest speaker and the ladies and gentlemen to this AYUSH Samriddhi webinar on freedom of information. Namaskar, over to Pavanji. Thank you. Hello, Pavanji.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. मैं अब आदरणीय अग्निहोत्री सर से उनकी ब्रीफ प्रीएम्बल की प्रार्थना करता हूं.
धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर पवन शर्मा जी. बहुत ही अच्छा टॉपिक है और सच में कहते हैं ना कि इंसान जो मनुष्य है वो तो फ्रीडम के साथ ही पैदा होता है, उसको फ्रीडम ही चाहिए. और उस फ्रीडम के अर्थ में खासतौर से कि कनाडा में क्या हो रहा है या बांग्लादेश में क्या हो रहा है या हमारे साउथ में क्या हो रहा है, हर प्रकार की सूचना और खाने के संबंध सूचना है या ज्योग्राफिकल इंफॉर्मेशन से जितनी भी इंफॉर्मेशन है, एक लर्नेड पर्सन को या एक क्यूरियस पर्सन को जानना जरूरी है. इतनी उसको स्वतंत्रता होनी चाहिए. और कुछ चीजें जो होती है जो गोपनीय थोड़ी देर के लिए मान सकते हैं कि सर्विस बुक में क्या लिखा है या हमारे इंक्रीमेंट में क्या दिक्कत है या पेंशन क्या दिक्कत है, उसके लिए गवर्नमेंट ने अलग जो 2005 रूल निकाला था कि राइट टू इंफॉर्मेशन, सूचना का अधिकार. तो मैं थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज कर रहा था कि वो और आज का जो हमारा सूचना की स्वतंत्रता, तो स्वतंत्रता इन जनरल बहुत ही एक खुशी की बात है और बहुत ही एक खुली हुई बात है कि हम दूसरों के बारे में जो हम जानना चाहते हैं उसको जानने का हमें स्वतंत्रता होनी चाहिए. और संभवतः शायद ये जो हमारा जो चौथा स्तंभ है गणतंत्र का, वो जिसे मीडिया कह लिए या प्रिंट मीडिया कह दिया, अखबार है, वो अखबार हम खरीदते इसीलिए होते थे कि इसमें हमें सारी सूचना मिल जाती थी, इवन विज्ञापन मिल जाते थे, टेंडर नोटिस मिल जाते थे और बहुत सारी जो रिक्रूटमेंट की जो होती विज्ञप्तियां कि कोई जगह निकली है सेवा अनुयोजन संबंधी, वो प्राप्त होती थी. तो हम एक 8 आने के 2 रुपए के अखबार से ये चीजें प्राप्त कर लेते थे. संभवतः मेरी सामान्य बुद्धि में हम ऐसा महसूस कर पा रहे हैं कि व्यक्ति को इतनी स्वतंत्रता होनी चाहिए कि वो तरह तरह की सूचनाएं जो उससे संबंधित है या वो जानना चाहता है तो जान सके। इवन हम बहुत सारी सूचनाएं लेते हैं जब वर वधु को तलाशते हैं, तो भी हम डायरेक्ट या इनडायरेक्ट तरीके से भेजते हैं इंसान को, अता पता लगाते हैं, बैंक में अगर एम्प्लॉय है तो वहां जाके पता करते हैं। ये सामान्य रूप से इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट करने की बातें हैं जो जो हम एक बेसिकली समझ पा रहे हैं। बाकी कोई टेक्निकल चीज जो हमारे आज के साइंटिस्ट लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, हम आदरणीय रेस्पेक्टेड डॉक्टर शैकत बसु जी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत करते हैं और मैडम सन्याल जी का भी स्वागत करते हैं कि हमने इन लोगों को इतना अच्छे से सुना और समझा है, इतने शब्द उपयोग कर लिए हैं कि स्वागत के लिए हमारे शब्द कम पड़ते हैं, क्योंकि इनका जो कंट्रीब्यूशन मुझे मिलता है रियली IRES उसके लिए निश्चित अपने को इंडेटेड फील करता है और मैं बड़े हृदय से उनको स्वागत करता हूं और उनसे ये सूचना क्या स्वतंत्रता प्राप्त करना चाहता हूं। आई वांट टू हैव द फ्रीडम टू इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम देयर साइड। थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू पुष्पम शर्मा। नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Sakat Vasu. My video is traveling.
Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
You are
okay,
audible,
Yes.
we will both.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much once again to be present on this platform. What I'm going to talk about is give you, as Agnihotri ji has very nicely illustrated his queries and his understanding.
आवाज आपकी रुक, आपकी आवाज रुक गई। देखिए कहीं कुछ कनेक्शन में दिक्कत हो गई है, आप स्टिल हो गए। सर आपकी कनेक्टिविटी, आप म्यूट हो गए।
थोड़ी देर देखिए ना सर।
हाँ मुझे लगता है कि कुछ इनको नेट की प्रॉब्लम हुई है, अभी स्टार्ट ही किया था, अब तो आ जाएंगे।
हाँ, ठीक है।
हाँ देयर वाज सम प्रॉब्लम।
अभी ओके है ना सभी? ठीक है,
ठीक।
Okay, so I'm going to highlight mostly on the freedom of information, and then from Madam's perspective as a sociologist, she will expand and extend on the freedom of information. And she has worked extensively on this area, so it will be a variable from all of us to know from our experiences while working with the freedom of information. But basically, the freedom of information is understood that it is the freedom of an individual to publish and consume information. Access to information is the ability of an individual to seek, receive, and impart information efficiently and effectively. These sometimes may include scientific, indigenous, and traditional knowledge, freedom of information, building of open knowledge resources, including both open internet and open standard and other sources of access and availability of data, both government and non-government sources, preservation of our digital heritage, whether it is a government or a national or a private library resources, respect for cultural and linguistic diversity, such as fostering access to local content in accessible languages, which means not only English, but vernacular languages in which a particular country runs, quality education for all, including lifelong and e-learning. This is a very Western concept where you get tax relief if you are involved in lifelong learning practices, which means even if you are senior citizen and if you are participating in various certificate, diploma and degree courses and gathering information, gathering knowledge, it is for the betterment of the society. So you get tax relief on the basis of that particular age, and particularly gathering information irrespective of your education, gender, age, race, ethnicity, and accessibility to those with disabilities and development of connectivity and affordable, including mobile, internet, and broadband infrastructure. So our infrastructure of information gathering has changed extensively with our social media platform, with this internet, and with more artificial intelligence now gathering on the social media platform and information technology of gathering information, and the range of information has changed. Information gathering for a particular individual is different, and is different from an academician who is trying to collect information, or a lawyer, or a journalist, or a judge, or a politician trying to collect information. They are various categories, different patterns, different forms, but nonetheless we are all looking for accessibility to information. And by information we mean quality information, not fake news, fake information, falsehood, or falsified documents. Information which are government accepted, which are acknowledged, and which are on the public domain. And sometimes if you have the accessibility, you can even reach private documents under the law of a particular country where they privilege you to collect this. It would be like the case of a police. A police can collect information about your mobile phone records. A police can go and look into your medical records, your mental health records and stuff under the court order. So this is also collection of information, but under precise condition as ascribed by the constitution or the criminal court procedures or by the court procedures of a country in which you are allowed to collect a particular information about an individual, which otherwise it is not accessible or allowable under the general law. So public access to government information, including through open publication of information and formal freedom of information laws, is widely considered as an important basic component of democracy and integrity of government, both in developed and developing countries. The definition is changing over the time, but nonetheless, information gathering is still a very significant aspect. Many scholars have identified 6 types of barriers to their understanding in collection of information. How can we define those? This is like the identification of the source, availability of the source, price of the user, cost to the provider, cognitive access, and acceptability. So always information is not free of cost. There is a money involved in the information collection, and sometimes the amount of money you have to spend in collecting that information supersedes the interest of collecting the information, and it also offers us a blockage for collecting information. For example, for many research papers and journals, as academics, either in science, humanities, or social sciences, are trying to collect papers, book chapters, and other resources from various parts of the world on the internet, but you would see that you can only get access to the abstract. You do not have access to the full paper unless the institute that you are associated with, or you have other association or arrangements with other institute or library to collect those research papers, because it becomes very expensive for libraries in our countries to access international papers unless they have agreement with those big publishers where they provide you a broad access or an umbrella access to a wide number of journals and magazines. So these are challenges where there is a cost. Information is important. There are many facets of information collection, but it is still not very easy for all of us to get this information because there is a cost involved in it. While access to information, right to know, and freedom of information are sometimes used as synonymously, but the diverse terminology does highlight particularly dimensions of the various issues of freedom of information. In very simple term, freedom of information is related to freedom of our expression, like the freedom of speech, which can apply to any medium, be it is oral or writing, print, electronic, or through social media forms, art, performing art, speeches, newspapers, magazines, journals, books published, e-books or hard copy books. This means that the protection of freedom of speech as a right includes not only the content but also the means of expression. Freedom of information is a separate context in the sense that it sometimes comes in straight conflict with the right to privacy in the content of the internet and information technology. as with the right to freedom of expression, the right to privacy is also recognized human right, and freedom of information acts as an extension to this right. However, there are conflicts. The government of the United Kingdom has theorized it as being a part of an extension of freedom of speech and a fundamental human right. It is also recognized in international law. The International United States Pirate Party have established political reforms partially based on the freedom of information issues. So based on this, what we could suggest or understand is the fact that it is the prerogative of every individual to have access to information, whether you can study information, collect the data, analyze the data, publish the data, and you have the right to express your studies, your vision, your understanding of this matter. But this freedom of speech and this freedom of expression has also taken very distinguished different turns, is because many people are abusing. Say, for example, trolling a celebrity, trolling a politician, trolling a particular company on the virtual media, particularly on the social media platforms, is also an expression of your right to information, freedom of information, and freedom of speech. But when we are virtually what you call this character assassinating an individual or an organization, I do not carry any personal liability. I am registered, say possibly I have a particular name, but I may be registered in the social media under a false name or a pen name. So no one really understands my real identity, because this is social media platform, and I have the liberty of hiding under the name and attacking an individual or organization, making derogatory terms where no one else to identify me is who exactly I am. I may be a man, but I could pretend to be a woman. I could be an LGBTQ individual. I could pretend to be a man or a woman, or vice versa. I may have a hatred or anger against a particular community, religion, faith, custom, society, or a country, and I can take the liberty of this, in particularly in case of social media, in violating this and desecrating and dehumanizing and posting opinions or making posts which are extremely derogatory to others, which are not respectful to others. While there are restrictions in particular sites and stuff where you cannot make these posts, or there are restrictions, or if you make derogatory posts, these are removed. But widely, these are usually accessible, and it makes us, in the day of the social media, with the advent of artificial intelligence, you may completely hide under this virtual world and attack an individual where no one gets to know who you are. This is a danger, in the sense that it is indeed a freedom of expression. Everybody should have their freedom of expression, right to the freedom of information. But also one has to have a restriction of this thin line between freedom and abuse. So these are new conflicts that are gathering together in our political sciences, in laws, in our education, and in various other areas of academia, as well as in various areas or facets of our public life. We are still defining laws, we are still finding ways how to handle these issues, but these are complex anthropogenic issues of the current present time, where the technology has provided us huge platform to access information, collect them, analyze them, portray them in the various ways we would write, and even publish them. We can self-publish many materials. Previously, you had to depend on an organization to publish your content. Now you can self-publish a lot of things. You can self-publish book, you can self-publish ebook with all kinds of ESBN, ISSN registration under following the international norms, and yet it could be derogatory to an individual, organism, society, caste, or gender. And there is no restriction on that. And sometimes it is like online bullying or internet wise trolling of an individual. So these are various important issues that are coming up with freedom of information, and I think these are challenging issues that we need to be resolving. We need to redefine our laws. We may have to go back and rephrase or amend constitutions to include where to start and where to stop, because this is indeed a fundamental right, but one's fundamental right should not be the one's fundamental abuse property to dehumanize another individual, community, class, or a society, or another nation. So where should we stop? Where should be the thin line with respect to the freedom of information, freedom of speech, freedom of expression needs to be defined in this present world. And there will be debates, there will be discussion, and I extend my sincere thanks to AYUSH Samriddhi for bringing out such important issues out on a platform for discussion, because a vast majority of our population are not even aware of these issues. In our schools, whether we are in secondary or tertiary levels of education, these are not still included in our course curriculum, whether it should be a part of our ethical study, whether it should be a part of our habit formation, whether it should be a part of our civic and social responsibilities, is still being researched, understood, and it needs to come out in the public domain, and there needs to be more discussion, and there needs to be consistency in building where should we stop as a thin line between freedom of expression, freedom of information, and the freedom to dehumanize another individual or a society or another organization or a country. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you so much once again for inviting me to this AYUSH platform. I wait with great interest to listen to Professor Suparna Sanyal Mukherjee for her take on this particular area, because I know that she has worked extensively on this. Thank you very much once again.
Excellent, Dr. Saket Basu. Excellent. You have made the day. You have made the day.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome.
Agayatri sir, your brief comments.
So many ideas made by Dr. Saket Basu made me clear regarding both the different words, freedom and right. Really, what area he touched regarding any publication or anything which is in hard copy or in media way can be considered as a freedom for any person who is interested to have it or who is interested to share in the society. This is what I could understand. I thank so much. He has got every right to speak on any subject freely. So he made the things very clear. Now I will again request Professor Sharma to please invite the next speaker. She is also going to share a lot of information to us all. So,
Adaniya Suparna Sanyal Mukherjee Madam, Dr. Suparna Sanyal Mukherjee Madam. Welcome.
Good evening. Very good evening and welcome to the all dignitaries over here. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to say regarding the information, freedom of information. Freedom of information is a very burning topic at today's juncture. So I like to speak on the topic of freedom, a democratic right. Freedom of information today, it is the auspicious day which is observed the International Freedom of Information Day, 16th March. 2024 is a very auspicious for all the aspects which we should know about the information and information technology related in the holistic approach. So information, freedom of information, which ensures that this day the public should know, the public should have the access to the which the government is holding. This includes decision making, then especially the decision making to discover and the reliance of the fact, which is also related with the government officials, non-government, at the same time The Fact of Information Act was passed in 1966 and it came into effect in 1967. Because it coincides with the birthday of James Madison. James Madison was the fourth president of United States, and Madison remembered as the father of Constitution, who made and drafted at the same time promoted the American Constitution and Bills of Rights. The Right of Information Day especially serves as the reminder of the importance of transparency in a democracy. So he has knows, the maiden has knows, and is the father of information and father of constitution, who has made the draft of the American Constitution. It is also note that everyone has the equal right. Everyone has the equal right at the same time role in the nation's governance, and that their role of especially the voting right, where the information, the freedom of information, specifically emphasize on the voting right. The right of information is essential for making the information decisions and ensuring that the government and elected representative of the government serves for the people at large, and they are the public representative in case of the democratic aspects. And which is very important in this aspects, there is the in our constitution the fundamental right and democratic rights. Fundamental rights, the six essential fundamental rights, which is for the every one of the citizens of India. But this fundamental rights is varying from country to country, then nations to nations, then the several continents also. But the democratic right, which is very common for the every country, every persons, every religion, every society who are belonging for. These democratic rights has there are several steps like the gathering information, share knowledge, then spread information in online, then offline, then government information, private information, public information, then the social information, social responsible information, laws and legal attitude. Everything is covered on that. I can emphasize only one thing, that is the just I being a researcher of social and anthropology, the researcher, I have completed the research on that particular aspect, where I have seen and I have found it out that the person, those who are not able to know their freedom, they don't have the any idea about the freedom. Like they don't know when we are asking Ajadi, Ajadi is it is not their concern. They don't know what is Ajadi. तो ये अगर पूछता है कि आप जानते हो क्या आजादी क्या है, वो बोलते हैं हमें मालूम नहीं है आजादी क्या है, आजादी का मतलब क्या है, द फ्रीडम का मतलब क्या है, ये it is not very accessible to the general public till today, after when we are observing Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav. But it is very paining, being a democratic society we are living at, but it is very paining to us that they don't know what is Azadi, what is freedom. If they don't know what is Azadi, what is the freedom, then how they will avail their information? How do you know? How do they know their information? How they do the right to the information? So it is very inaccessible for them. So how to access to them? It is our responsibility, though, who know what is the right to information. So in that case, it is very important for us to enter into those people, especially in case of the Forest Act and Forest Rights Act and the forest policies. They have no idea, but they are forest resident. They have the age-old rights over the forest. They are practicing their daily livelihood sustenance on the forest. So suddenly it is the act was implemented on them. So how they know it? They are very innocent people. They don't know anything. So if it is the act is there, and it is the free entrance and egress is restricted and prohibited to enter into the forest, and which the daily livelihood sustenance was depending upon the forest and forest producers. So they are certainly in the utter dismay. And this dismay, dwindle situation, catered them for the, jeopardy. So they don't know. And at the same time, what the policy is giving their concessions, what the policy is making them for the privilege, they also don't know. And in case of the Forest Right Act, they also don't know what is the right they can access for it. So this is the controversy, and this is the parallel line which is never met, just because the who are living in the deep inside the forest, those who are living in the remote situation area, those who are living in the rural sector, so they are just in jeopardy. Though they have the democratic right, they have the freedom to freedom for information, they have the freedom, because we are enjoying our freedom in every aspects of life, where our fellow citizens, they don't have the right to know, because they don't have the adequate information, they don't have the adequate education, they don't have the adequate access to know the information. So it is not possible for them to go to the each and every sector, each and every offices. There is no remedies for them. They don't know the how to use the online, because the smartphone, to avail the smartphone, it is the far cry to them, because they are, though they have the job cut, but it is very they don't have the access to get the proper food, proper nutrition. So how they use their smartphone to get the information online? It is the our duty to avail to them, our duty to ensure them, and our duty to develop their sustainability, how to know the information. So this information day, though we are saying something, we are gathering over here, we are saying so many things, but we have to explore it, we have to reach to the person though needed this information. Then only we can feel that the right to information day or freedom of information we are enjoying, our fellow citizens should enjoy the freedom of information. This is the observation of the day, should be success. And in that case, it is very important in the democratic right, so every person have the equal right. The democracy, we are living in democratic system, we are living in democracy, and our democracy is giving the equal right for the everyone. So when the political leader are standing and they are ensuring the system should be generated from the grassroots level. The political party, those who are MP or MNs, they are the public representative. So when they are getting the public representative, but they don't have the time to know the public voice, because those public voice is not reaching to them, because they are very at the time after election, after voting completion of the vote and getting their chair, they are becoming deaf and dumb, because public voices never reached to them. But they needed the public vote, because one vote is important for the seat. So this voting, when they are everyone is enjoying voting, so it is fact that those people who are living in the deep inside the forest, and they don't get the proper food and proper nutrition, but before the 7 days of the election, they used to treated as the VIP. They used to get the 4 times food, and that food is it is the assurance that the political party, which party is giving the food, that party will get the vote, and they will treat it as a human. This is our democratic system. So we must we should must get the differences. We should not be dissuade them. It is their life also. They are also belonging to the democratic right, because the freedom for everyone, freedom is for every individual, freedom is for every citizen, and freedom should enjoy by the every citizen. That is our essence of Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav, to celebrate the Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav, because we all are living in a democratic society, and we have the equal right, and every individual and every person have the equal right to live in the society. It is our motto to develop our society. So for that reason, Still we are living in a developing country. We are not being the developed country. To make our developed country, we should be assure them, those who are not enjoying the democratic right. So a democracy is telling that every individual should be living in the same platform, whoever, wherever they are. Thank you very much. Thanks to Ayush Samriddhi. And in that case, it is also very important, though they are using the medicinal plants, they are the aborigine and they are the enjoying and they are the identifying the medicinal plants, but they don't know the its scientific uses. But it is the trial and error method. Ayush also have the responsibility to make scientific way to reach into those persons the to uses of this medicinal plants and medicines. Thank you very much. Thanks to all to giving me such an opportunity to say something on this.
Thank you, madam. Really, both of you are mesmerizing, mesmerizing. No other word can be said, mesmerizing. Great, great flow of content, excellent content, and really, you are excellent orator, madam. Great. Agniotri sir. Now session is open.
लास्ट में तो एक बहुत ही बढ़िया सेंटेंस बोल दिया कि इट इज आल्सो द रिस्पांसिबिलिटी ऑफ द IRES और द आयुर्वेदिक पर्सन टू रिकॉग्नाइज द प्लांट्स and use them scientifically properly, because it has got a sort of freedom to make best use of it for the greater cause of the suffering humanity. This right or this freedom be utilized in a proper manner, so that it should also not be misused, as Secretary also told that freedom and abuse has got a little bit, a very thin lining. So in that way, it should be properly used. And then only our motto to keep on doing all this IRES platform informations and the medicines or formulation, whatever we are sharing with the society, be properly used. Thank you so much. And now the session is open, and our apart from our guest speakers, our other participants are also available with us, and they can put any type of query or suggestion that in what way we can better democratically avail this freedom of information. अगर ये अपने से भी और कोई अच्छा तरीका हो सकता है, इस पर हम चर्चा लें, क्योंकि अगर हम उसको बहुत ही वाइडर सेंस में जाएंगे तो एक गणतंत्र गणराज्य के नागरिक होने के नाते हम स्वतंत्र हैं अपनी बात कहने और अपनी बात को अपने तरीके से रखने के लिए। लेकिन वही है कि इसमें हमें उस स्वतंत्रता का मतलब ये है कि वो किसी भी रूप में एक स्वेच्छाचारिता नहीं होनी चाहिए। स्वतंत्रता जरूर है, लेकिन स्वेच्छाचारिता से बच के है कि हम ओवरलुक न करें अपने अपने कर्तव्यों को अपने राइट्स के लिए। तो ये बहुत आवश्यक है, तभी जाके इसका सही अर्थों में उपयोग हो सकेगा। तो हमारे आदरणीय बंधुवर कुछ और अपनी जानकारी से इसमें एड ऑन करना चाहेंगे तो स्वागत है। हमारे पास जो हमारी उपलब्ध हमारे आदरणीय द्विवेदी जी हैं, गुरुवर हमारे साथ में, आदरणीय डोमा जी हमारे साथ में हैं। तो हम आप लोगों के विचार आमंत्रित करते हैं, जब तक कि कुछ इस विषय में थोड़ा सा मार्गदर्शन करने की कृपा करिए। नमस्कार जी। क्योंकि समय हम लोगों का कितना भी जल्दी करें 11 बज ही जाता है, और आदरणीय राजीव जी कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? वो तो अपने पशुओं की स्वतंत्रता के बारे में भी जानकारी ही ले दे सकते हैं कि वो पशु तो बेचारे मूक हैं, लेकिन उनके लिए हम उनकी फ्रीडम को हम कैसे उन्हें प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं। मतलब बहुत ज्यादा पक्षियों के लिए तो कहा गया है कि उनको केज में नहीं रखना चाहिए, उनको उड़ा देना चाहिए, उनकी स्वतंत्रता क्यों बाधक हो। तो पशुओं के बारे में भी यही है कि डिसिप्लिन के अलावा और क्या हो सकता है उनके लिए। जी सर, स्वागत है आपका।
Yeah. Many times, if suppose stray animal, many times they will be admitted at hospital, and if suppose non organization etc. are there, so they will not charge for that actually. So
Yes.
most of the time, if recovery is there, they will take a consent of whoever is bringing the animal to the hospital, etc. They will take a consent, even bird or cat, animal, etc. Locality they will notify actually. Even under
म्यूट हो गया. आप म्यूट हो गए हैं. आपका माइक म्यूट हो गया है. Yes.
they will be releasing in the same society
Yeah.
or same area, so that they should get a proper food, etc. in that locality. Another thing, if birds and other things are there, they will be released after the recovery. They will be released after the recovery. So that will be the also freedom. But even in captivity, etc., particularly for zoo animal, if you someone has captured the animal and kept confined for a longer period, then that animal may not adapt to the original state. So that is also there. That's why this many rescue centers, etc., having obligation. If the animal retain for a longer period, then that is their obligation to feed and maintain the animal for a lifetime. So that is the one thing. So that's why many time problems, particularly some breeds, etc., may be there, particularly in zoo animals. Nowadays, even leopards, etc., they will be captured. Where they are having an encounter with the humans, etc. They will be captured and kept in the rehabilitation center, or that they can be confined at the zoos, etc. Or whatever the rescue center is there, they will be maintaining, etc. So within a short time, that animal should recover. Then only that animal will be suiting their environment, original environment, and their survival will be better. Otherwise, after a prolonged period, if some animal to be released in their own locality, etc., because of domestication, etc., nature, behavior, everything may change. And in nature, there dominates some alpha animals, it will be there. And because of that, will be survival may be difficult. That so that gradual adaptation to the particular environment and then release can be done. Otherwise, isolation few hours, again you can take,
Thank you so
again you
much.
can
Thank you so much.
release like that adaptation.
And I think you
Hello?
already, you people, yeah, thank you so much. And I think you people have already told times and again regarding their handling that
Yeah,
they should not
yeah,
be beaten up. May it be cow, may it be
yeah,
dog, anything it becomes a
yeah.
problem that
That's
whenever
cruelty.
it is a
It
matter
is
of
under
bullock cart,
cruelty.
yeah, it is cruelty.
Yeah,
It is punishable.
overburden should not be there. Then
Yeah,
over milking, or you can say, if suppose that small confined area, if animal is kept, many time hoof problems, etc., may be there. So adequate exercise should be there. Many time animals, birds, etc., they are used for the production purpose. So instead of wasting their energy for exercise, etc., they will be confined. So because of that,
that's
there will
true.
be the
That's true.
possibility of conservation of energy and production will be there.
So one thing I think
Particularly
that
for broilers.
sir, regarding the
Yeah.
bigger animals like
So here,
horse and bull, they are used in carrying the cart or the chariot. So in that way, they are being
yeah,
repeated,
it
given
depending.
directions or the cautions. So that is also,
Yes,
I think, inhuman.
yes,
Even Arab
yeah.
elephant also been,
In human,
yeah,
yeah,
because
even
they
in
are
for the
all,
elephant, etc., everywhere it is there.
yeah,
So even particularly if suppose for bullock cart, particular weight with the cart wheel, whether it is a tired, whether it is a iron, that
iron wheel, yeah,
old wheels that are now stopped actually. Only
yeah,
tire with
tire wheel, air
uh,
pressure, yeah.
bushing, etc. Everything, so that there should be comfort to carry, etc. should be there. and for each animal, definite weight, etc., how much they should bear, weight, etc. That is the standard, and same cart, etc., to be used. So that is the one thing. Another thing will be the for even for working horses also same rule is there. Now certain. So taming the animal, etc., to ban. Really, you can give the pain to the animal for the particular exercise or particular act, etc. So that is bad. So that's why this nowadays it doesn't have a animal exercise, etc. So only etc. Favorably shows, etc. to be out. Shows particularly sale of ticket, etc. So that
I think in the same connection,
and
even the man pulling rickshaw is also, to some extent, it is also inhuman. Even the man is supposed to carry the weight of a human being. It's itself is a practically sort of inhumans. And auto rickshaw or diesel electric rickshaw, they are the best alternative for the same purpose. Even our Kedarnath, Badrinath, where the pilgrims are not capable to climb by their own. They have been given the shelters by the men itself. So it is also beyond the men's duties and responsibility. So all these things are taken into consideration apart from the animals, the birds, the cats and dogs, and also human. They are also been freed for this problem. In other way, now the helicopter services are there, or even the kachar and these horses, they are also being used, but they are getting so many times injured. Sometimes they get faint or some vertigo, or they fall down in the valley. So many things are there. So we are being human, be very careful for all these such type of unfair things which are going on, just to save the life and their importance of our nearby animals. Of course, most of the animals are our domestic one and are very useful for so many works. Thank you so much for joining today, and I will now मैं निवेदन करूंगा प्रोफेसर हमारे गुरुवर द्विवेदी जी से कि वो आशीर्वचन देके आज के दोनों ही वेबिनार्स के बारे में अपने समापन की प्रक्रिया पूर्ण करें। और बहुत बहुत आपका गायकवाड़ साहब, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है। वी आर वेरी मच थैंकफुल टू यू फॉर योर cooperation, for your sharing the knowledge and also sharing the very important time of your life. Thank you so much.
नमस्कार सर, सभी विद्वत
नमस्कार।
को
नमस्कार।
आज के दोनों वेबिनार मैंने सुने और लोगों ने अच्छी नई जानकारी भी दी। साथ में वैचारिक स्वतंत्रता के लिए जो अभी वेबिनार हुआ उसमें भी विद्वान वक्ताओं ने अपने विचार व्यक्त किए। उनको साधुवाद और धन्यवाद। आप सभी को शुभ रात्रि। नमस्कार।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का। आदरणीय डोमा जी का धन्यवाद, आप प्रोफेसर द्विवेदी जी का धन्यवाद, गायकवाड़ जी का धन्यवाद। गुड नाइट सर, गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट,
गुड नाइट, थैंक यू,
थैंक यू सर। नमस्कार, शुभ रात्रि, नमस्कार, प्रणाम। Thank you. Over to Professor Pawan Sharma ji. Please call off the webinar.